श्रीमद्रङ्गशटारि योगिचरण न्यस्तात्मरक्षाभरम् श्रीमद्रङ्गशटारि वीरनगुराट्लब्धागमान्तद्वयम् ईश्याडम्ब विवर्जितम् शुभगुणैः भान्तं महत्वं तजम् वन्दे वत्सविभूषणम् भूतवरम् श्रीकृष्णमार्यं सदा श्रीमते वास्य श्रीकृष्णमार्य महादेशिकाय नमः.
यो नित्यमच्युत पदाम्बुज युग्म रुग्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये. श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि. रामानुजदया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्. वेदान्तदेशिक यतीन्द्रकटाक्षलब्धत्रयन्तसारम् अनवद्यगुणं बुधाग्रियं नारायणाद्य यति दुर्यकृपाभिषक्तं श्रीरङ्गनाथ यतिशेखरम् आश्रयामः. श्रीकृष्णमार्यं करुणालयन्तं वेदान्तयुग्मं समतीतवन्तं वत्साभिजातं विदुषान्वरेण्यं श्रीभाष्यसिंहं प्रणमामि नित्यम्. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. Namaskaram everyone. APN name is Krishna Varahan from Geneva and I am a SARAN Sevaks. I would like to thank Chitra, Thara, Sishyas Sabha for organizing an Upanyasam series, and it gives me a great honor and humbled that APN also has been invited to talk a few words about Ramanuja Daya Patram Taniyan. Well, how could I even start? Swami Desikan in his work Paduka Sahasram mentions that Vakta Sahasra Vadanaha Purushah Swayam Chet. Even if I have 1,000 heads like Adisesha, I cannot talk the glories of Paduka. Well, I would also take up the same thing to say that even if I have 1,000 heads, I cannot talk about the significance or greatness of Deshika or even this sloka or Taniyan. If you see, this Taniyan is chanted as the first thing before we start our Nalayara Divya Prabandham, be it at home or even in temples. You could see the analogy here, there. Just like when we start Veda, we start with Pranavam. So, Nalayara Divya Prabandham is the Tamil Vedas. And what is the Pranavam for that? Exactly, this Ramanuja Daya Patram Taniyan. And you can say that if you know Brahman, then you have known everything. So, similarly, if you know the meaning of this Taniyan, then I would say you have known everything. Because this Taniyan has everybody's blessing, be it from all the Divya Desams, Acharyas like Ramanuja, Appullar, Nadadur Ammal, you name it. Everybody has given their blessings to this Taniyan. For me, what I have done is, I've chosen a shlokam and then with 4 major Divya Desam, I would explain Who is Ramanuja and who has this Ramanuja Daya Patram? When we finish Sandhya Vandanam, we prostrate in 4 different directions by chanting this shloka. Sriranga Mangalanidhim Karunanivasam Sri Venkatadri Shikaralaya Kalamegam Sri Hastisaila Shikarojwala Parijatam Srimam Namami Sharasa Edushaila Deepam. So, what are these 4 Divya Desams that we are going to talk about? Srirangam, Tirumala, Kanchi, and Melkote. But before going that, I would like to also say how this Taniyan was created, who created it, and when was this created. Swami Deshika was in Melakote with his Sishyas and also his son Kumara Varadacharya. Brahmatantra Swatantra Jiyar wished to learn Tiruvaimozhi under Kumara Varadacharya so that he not only offers his respect to the Guru but also to the entire lineage. And the day was Avani Hastam. And what is the significance of Avani Hastam? It is the Sama Upakarma. And the important thing in Upakarma is not just changing the Punal, but it's the Veda Adhyayanam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vedanam Sama Vedosmi, which means amongst the Vedas, I am the Sama Veda. And Tiruvaimozhi is considered as the Sama Vedam. So it was exactly on this day Swami Vedanta Deshika thought he will start the Kalakshepa of Tiruvaimozhi. But with the request of Brahmatantra Swatantra Jiyar, he gave his detailed commentary called Nigama Parimalam to Kumara Varadacharya so that we could understand Tiruvaimozhi better. Unfortunately, Nigama Parimalam is lost. Nigama means Veda, Parimalam is the fragrance. Nammalvar always wears the Bakula Malai and that adds the fragrance to Tiruvaimozhi. After some time, there was a huge commotion in Srirangam that many scholars had protested not to chant Nalayana Divya Prabandham because the Alvar did not meet certain class or criteria according to those scholars. Swami Desikan understood this and he came running to Srirangam and with the pramanams given by his own acharyas, including Swami Ramanuja, defeated these scholars and started the Adhyayana Utsavam in Dhanurmasam. Ranganatha was very pleased with the argument that Swami Desikan did. And we know that Swami Desikan is also known as Kavitarkika Simham. When the lion roars, every other animal in the jungle keeps quiet. So that was the valor of Swami Desikan. Ranganatha, being pleased with what Swami Desikan did, said that, "Oh, Desika, I know that your Shishya, Brahmatantra Swatantra Jiyar, has created a Taniyan. So from now on, before the start of Nalayana Divya Prabandham, your Taniyan of Ramanuja Daya Patram should be chanted." Well, as I said that I'm going to explain this Taniyan with 4 Divya Desam. So let's move on to the first Divya Desam, which is Srirangam. Srirangam is considered as Bhuloga Vaikuntham and the presiding deity is Ranganathan. There is an interesting story that when a bhakta or a devotee came and worshipped Lord Ranganatha, he was very curious And Lord Ranganatha asked the devotee, saying that, have you read the Vedas? The Bhakta coming from the southern land said that, oh, Swami, that's in a very different language from what I have read. So I don't know Vedas. Okay, Ranganatha accepted this as an answer and then said, okay, so then do you know Nalayara Divya Prabandham? To which the devotee said, Swami, do you think 4000 is possible for me to learn? It's too much an ask, so I have not done that. Now Ranganatha is bit agitated. He says, okay, at least have you memorized Thiruvaimozhi? The devotee says, that's more than 1000 pasurams and also it's in like ancient Tamil. How would I even know? I can speak Tamil, but to read and memorize those Tamil, it's a different league altogether. So I have no idea. Now Ranganatha is furious. He says, okay, at least do you know Tirumalai? The devotee asked, Ranganatha, do you mean Tirumailai? That is a place in Chennai that I am familiar with. But what is this Tirumalai? I have no idea about it. Ranganatha is furious and says, you don't know Vedas, you don't know Divya Prabandham, you don't know Thiruvaimozhi, you don't know Tirumalai. How do you even expect me to bless you? And you know, there is also a very famous saying, Tirumalai Ariyadavan, Tirumalai Ariyamatan, which means if you don't know Tirumalai, you will not know Tirumal, which is Perumal. You will not able to identify him. The devotee says, I am here just to receive your blessings. I have no other business. Nammalvar was watching all this silently, and then he says to the Perumal, Oh Ranganatha, why are you scaring him like this? He has no other refuge, and that's why he has come and surrendered to your feet. Is it not your duty to protect him? If you don't protect, who's going to protect him? Right? Ranganatha says, Oh Nammalvare, he has no clue about anything, so why should I even bless him? Then Nammalvar says, if he knows everything, then why would he come here? He would act himself as a god, right? If he knows everything. So only people who doesn't know anything would come and seek your refuge. But tell me something. If he has my sambandham, will you bless? Perumal says, yes, definitely I will do. If he has your blessings, I will do it. Nammalvar reconfirms it again. Perumal, this is the second time I'm asking you. Please tell me properly whether you will bless the devotee if he has my sambandham. Ranganatha says, Oh Nammalvare, don't you know who I am? I am Rama. Ramo Dvirnabhi Bhashate. For me, it's one word. When I give my word, I fulfill it at any cost. On hearing this, Nammalvar, in the form of Shatari, immediately goes and sits on top of the devotee's head and looks back to Ranganatha and says, Perumal, now that he has my sambandham, it is your duty to protect him. Ranganatha smilingly says, Oh Nammalvare, you have tricked me with your words. Anyways, as I said, I don't go back on my promise. I will definitely protect him. Swami Desikan takes this incident in Paduka Sahasram as well. Dramidopanishan nivesha shunyan api lakshmi ramanaya rocha ishyan Dhruvama vishati sma padukatma Satakopa swayameva mananiyaha. Just by Dramidopanishad, which is Thiruvaimozhi, I could able to enjoy Nammalvar, and through that connection, I am able to enjoy Tayar and Perumal. So without this Thiruvaimozhi, I am sure that I would not be in a position to enjoy Tayar and Perumal. But then how do you associate Ranganatha with Ramanuja? Remember, that's the question, or that's what we said, that we will establish with the fourth Divya Desam as Ramanuja. How do you split the word Ramanuja? Ramaha plus Anujaha. And if you use Bahubrihi Samasa, it says Ramaha Anujaha Yasya Saha, which means to whom Rama is the younger brother. And if you see Lord Ranganatha, he was a Kula Devatam of Ikshvaku family. Brahma worshipped Ranganatha and he handed over to Ikshvaku. And then they started to worship Ranganathan, and finally Rama was also worshipping Ranganatha. So, which means that this Ranganatha was before Rama, and Rama was following this Ranganatha. So, which means that Ramanuja is the Ranganathan, and that Ranganathan's compassion is full of Swami Desikan. Moving north, the next Divya Desam that we are going to see is Tirumala, and the presiding deity is Srinivasan. We all know that Swami Desikan is the avataram of Lord Srinivasa itself. Bhadrapada Masagata Vishnu Vimalakshe Venkata Mahidrapati Tirtha Dinabhute. In the holy month of Bhadrapada, which is Purattasi, and the star of Shravana, to whom Vishnu is the presiding deity, when Venkatadri Srinivasa had a Tirthavari, Swami Desikan was born in Tupul. The birth name given to Swami Desikan was Venkatanathan. This was clearly mentioned in Pillayandadi, a work by Kumara Varadacharya on Swami Desikan. It says, Andri Vulaginai Aki Arumpurul Nool Virithu Ninrutan Neel Pugal Venkata Mamalai Mevi Pinvendri Pugal Thiruvengadan Nathan Enum Guruvai Nindru Nigalந்து Manmel Nindra Noigal Tavirtanane. Here it says Guruvai. Who is that Guruvai? Enum Guruvai? Thiruvengadanathan enum Guruvai. Pugal Thiruvengadanathan enum Guruvai. Vendri Pugal Thiruvengadanathan enum Guruvai. All this refers to Swami Desikan. As we know that Swami Desikan's childhood name was Venkatanathan. And what did he win over? Swami Desikan won over everybody and established Praparti Shastra as the only way to attain moksha. If you see this start of this Pasuram, it says Andri Vulaginai Aki Arumpurul Nool Virithu. And we know that Krishna took the incarnation as Srinivasa, and Krishna created this world and gave it to Brahma, and he sowed the seed of Prapatti Shastra. As a farmer, when you sow seed, it is your duty to protect. And how do you protect? So in the entire farm, you build a kind of a raised structure so that you can go and sit on top of it and watch what's happening throughout your farm. So if there are any animals or any trespassers coming and trying to destroy your crop, you can order your son or your relatives to shoo them away so that your crop is well protected. Similarly, Krishna created the Prapati Shastra, sowed the seeds of Prapati Shastra, and he was watching from Tirumala as how it is growing. Whenever there was any trespassers who wants to destroy this, he used various gurus to kill or destroy those trespassers and ensure that Prapati Shastra is growing very well in this Bhuloka. And this is very clear in Daya Shatakam as well. We all know that, as I said, Krishna came as Srinivasa. Krishna had an elder brother called Balarama. So Krishna is also fondly referred as Ramanuja. So going by that reasoning, Ramanuja, who is Krishna, who later became Srinivasa, is the Ramanuja, and his full compassion was with Swami Desikan. Well, somehow you managed and explained Ranganatha, linked it with Ramanuja, Srinivasa, and also you linked it with Ramanuja. So the next Divya Desam that we are going to travel is Kanchipuram, where the presiding deity is Varadarajan. So how am I going to link Ramanuja with Varadaraja? That's where our Purvacharya's Vyakhyanam come into rescue. What does Anuja mean? Anuja means to follow or Anukaranam. And we as Sishyas, we follow the Guru. And Swami Desikan Guru was Appullar, who was his maternal uncle. And Swami Desika mentions in his work many times that I am just like a parrot and I am repeating what my Guru had taught to me. One day, Swami Desika had some doubt and wanted more clarity on Pranavam. Well, when I said he had doubt, it doesn't mean that he really had it, because he is Sarvatantra Swatantra, so he knows everything. It's for our own sake he asked those questions so that it can be more explained better. And it's always nice to hear the explanation from the Gurus. So he asked Appullar, saying that, can you please explain a bit more about Pranavam? So Appullar decided to take a reference from Ramayana. He explained with this shlokam. Agratah prayo Ramaha Sita madhyesu madhyama Prishtastasta danushpanihi Lakshmanaha anujagamaha. If you see the last word, ha, Valmiki is like surprised. He said, what's happening here? I thought Rama, Sita and Lakshmana are just walking into the forest, but I see something much more deeper into that. What is it happening? Rama as the Parabrahman, and if you see the Pranavam, it has 3 syllables, A, U and Ma, where the A refers to the Parabrahman, U refers to Pirati, and Ma refers to Jivatma. So if you put that in that context, it is Rama, which is A, and then Sita, and also in the shloka you have Sumadhyama, where you have the U, and then Lakshma Anujagama, where the Ma, which is the Jivatma. So Valmiki sees this as, oh wow, this is the mobile Pranavam that is happening in Ramayana, and that's where the exclamation of Ha comes into the picture. There are very few instances that Valmiki has used this exclamation in Ramayana. This entire episode has been well documented by my Guru APNSwami in his book Megatin Dagam. But this happened many yugas back. So Swami Appullar took another example that happened couple of centuries before Swami Deshika. When Ramanuja lost his way in the foothills of Vindhyas, there was a hunter and his wife who came to the rescue. And the hunter, who had a bow in his hand, led Swami Ramanuja from the foothills of Vindhyas to Kanchi overnight. And there, if you see there, it was the hunter, hunter's wife, and Ramanuja. They were walking, and then they came back to Kanchi. But how did the hunter came back to Kanchi at such a short notice? Remember what the hunter had? He had a bow in his hand. And what do you call bow in Tamil? Will. When there is a will, there is a way. Well, jokes apart. So again, this is something which you should read the work of my Guru, and Adhivan had a wonderful opportunity to translate it in English as well. And what did that Varada did? He followed what Rama did in Treta Yuga. Because he followed what Rama did, and again it was Varada, which is A, and then Perundevi Tayar as U, and Ramanuja, who is nothing but Ilayalvan, Lakshmana, the avatar Amsam of Lakshmana, is the Makharam. So the same thing has been followed again in Kali Yuga. So that makes to say that Varada was the Ramanuja, and he taught everything to Swami Deshika. So the compassion of, and the entire compassion of Varada is to Swami Deshika. And finally, we reach Melakote, where the presiding deity is Sampat Kumaran. The other name for this deity is also called Ramapriyan. After giving Ranganatha as a gift to Vibhishana, Rama created one more Vigraham for his puja. And he loved that Vigraham very much that he named it as Ramapriyan, the one which is loved by Rama. And after Rama, it was handed over to Kusha, and who was performing Nitya Anushtanam. When Kusha's daughter got married to Yadukula Vamsam, all she wanted was the Ramapriyan as the marriage gift. Imagine these days, what would the girls might ask? Oh, I need the heirloom jewelry of my grandmother or my mother, or I need the expensive car that my father is having. Thankfully, Kusha's daughter asked for their heirloom property, which is Ramapriyan. Kusha was a bit hesitant because how could you part ways with Perumal? But then Sita, in his dream, said that no, you should hand over Ramapriyan to her. And when Balarama was doing a pilgrimage, he came and he saw this Vigraham, and he could feel like it was very much associated with him. He has seen this Vigraham so close somewhere else. And that's why if you see Melkote, it is also called Yadugiri, because where the Yadukula have come and they have worshipped there. So Krishna and Balarama worshipped this Ramapriyan, and after many centuries or many yugas, Swami Ramanuja brought back this Ramapriyan back to Melkote. Since this Ramapriyan came after Rama, he is called Ramanuja. And Swami Desikan had so much love for Sampath Kumara. So this Ramanuja, who is nothing but Ramapriyan, the entire compassion is for Swami Deshika. Well, now I have talked briefly about the four Divya Desam. We could go on for Dashavataram and all those things as I said earlier, but again, due to paucity of time, I would restrict with these Divya Desam. I would like to conclude with one small anecdote. Our Sampradayam is called Oran Vadi Sampradayam, which means there is a chain that links from us to our immediate Guru and from there till Perumal. If you catch hold of this chain, then you will always have chain in your life. Please read this chain as in Hindi, which means peace. So when you perform Sharanagati, you attain this chain, that is the peace, and with that you will break the chain of samsara and attain moksha. So let us all reflect on this Taniyan. And again, once again, I would like to thank Chitra Thara Sishyas Sabha for giving me an opportunity to talk a few words about Ramanuja Daya Patram. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.